Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Marilyn Darling Show. Today, we're going to be making gingerbread men, and this is what they look like. The first thing that you're going to do is you're going to go over to your oven, turn it up to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Then, you're going to combine 2 teaspoons of ground ginger, 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon of ground cloves, and 1/4 teaspoon of ground nutmeg, with a 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda. Or you can mix 3 teaspoons, which is a tablespoon of pumpkin spice. Then you're going to mix this with 3 cups of baking flour, along with 1 cup of sugar and 1/8 teaspoon of starch. And you're going to take a whisk and you're going to whisk everything together so that way everything is homogeneous. You want to do this for a little while, maybe half a minute, because you don't want starch getting somewhere and having lumps. So just mix it for a little while. Alright, the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to take 1/2 cup of molasses, and you're going to unstick a cube of butter, and you're going to put that in a microwave safe bowl, and you're going to microwave it for 30 seconds. Also at this time you can add a splash of vanilla. Microwave for 30 seconds. After you've microwaved this for 30 seconds, you're going to add 2 eggs to a bowl, and then you're going to whisk the eggs and add them to this bowl. Also at this time you're going to break up your butter so that way it doesn't have so much to do. And then you're going to kind of just lightly mix your butter into your molasses so that it becomes homogeneous. And then you're going to add your eggs in. And you might want to stick your pinky in this and see if it's too warm. You don't want to cook your eggs, you just want them to be warm. So, let's see. Nope, perfect. It's cooler than your finger. It's cool enough to add the eggs. So, plop your eggs in. Use a spatula to get the egg out. Then you're going to take this homogeneous mixture over to a stand mixer fitted with a paddle attachment, and you're going to place this inside of the bowl. Then you're going to bring your powdered mixture over, and you're going to get 1/4 measuring cup, and you're going to slowly beat in the mixture. Then you're going to take 1/4 cups of your dry mixture and place them into your bowl while it's going, because that would make sure you lock it down, turn it on to stir, and 1/4 cup at a time. If you put the entire dry mixture into your KitchenAid all at once, you will break your KitchenAid. Trust me, I've seen it. Now you're gonna hear your KitchenAid kind of straining. Don't be afraid. It's fine. Everything's fine. After you get to a certain point, you might want to turn it up just a little bit to get good fast mixing done. Happy Sunday. And then just kind of dump the rest in. Now this is going to seem like a big, loopy, globby mess, but just kind of let it go for a little while because it needs to come away from the sides and it's got to mix in a little bit, so... Okay, now you can take a hard spatula and scrape down the sides. Make sure you get everything down on the bottom. Okay, then your gingerbread mix is done. So you can scrape down the paddle, and then what you're going to do is you're going to take this mixture and you're going to put it on a piece of baking wrap or parchment paper or a piece of like a plastic bag, and then you're just going to put it in the freezer for... You're going to kind of flatten it out. Now, most people will tell you put it into a bowl and stick it in the refrigerator. But ain't nobody got time for that. So, we're going to take this mixture. Gerf. We're going to put it on a plastic in kind of a mushed out rectangle. And then we're going to plop it in the freezer for 20 minutes. After it's in an oblong rectangle-ish, you're going to plop this in the freezer for about 20 minutes. Now is the time to put everything away and clean up your mess. And by the time you're done with that, you'll be able to roll out your dough and put it in the oven. Now is the time to take out a cutting board, preferably one that's not going to go anywhere. If you don't have a cutting board that has the little rubber feet on the bottom, then what you can do is you can take a paper towel, moisten it, fold it into quadrants, and place it underneath a foot of your, and it won't move as far, but you gotta wring it out pretty good. So now that your cookie dough has chilled for maybe 10 minutes, maybe 15, you can check and make sure that your oven is set to 350 degrees. And if it's a little over, you can turn it down at this point because you don't want to burn your cookies. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take a knife and you're going to slice out little portions, little squares, and you're going to get some flour. You're going to flour your surface with a little bit of baking flour. Just kind of massage it around. You don't need a whole lot. Just enough to keep the dough from sticking. Okay, that should be good. Okay. Then you're going to take your little dough ball, a little bit of dough here, and you're going to roll it into kind of a doughish, a ball. And then you're going to take a rolling pin, or you're going to take the back of your hand and you're just going to kind of squish it out into whatever shape that you think will be usable. And then you're going to take your choice of cutting device. I'm making gingerbread men, so kind of get a rough guesstimate of how big a gingerbread person is, and then just blob him out, plop him on the sheet, and do that several hundred times, and you'll have lots of gingerbread people. And then you'll place this in the oven for 10 to 20 minutes. Now these are a little thicker. As you can see, he's a thick boy, and they have baking soda in them, so they're going to rise. So make sure that you watch them really carefully. Do not leave the kitchen. Go sit for 20 minutes and come back, because they could be not good. So just do this, and you'll be good to go. And I'll come back and show you what they look like when they're done. After you have baked off your gingerbread men and let them cool off, then it's time to do a taste test. So at first I like to do the rip test, so nice and fluffy. A little crunchy. Mostly soft. I have a new subscriber. Hello, Jolene B. Hello. These are soft and fluffy and delicious. And all they need is 10 minutes in the oven, 350. And after you let them cool, they're perfect. So that's all for today. Thank you all for watching. Please don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. Have a great day. Love you. Bye.